Pause that. Alright, so we're going to go through and do an 100% run of Stubbs the Zombie in Rebel Without a Pulse, or in Rebel? Rebel? Rebel, Rebel? Rabble, Rabble? We're going to be playing some zombie games, and we're going to be doing it without a single pulse. And we're going to be going through it as fast as we can, collecting every collectible in the game. This is the 100% category on easy difficulty. What our goal here is going to be to collect all the Hippo Heads in the game. There are 53 in total, and with 53 of them all spread out throughout every level, we have a lot of stuff to collect. So I'll do my best to navigate us through it, and we can more or less treat this as an overall tutorial of how to do the run. Hopefully I can manage that while we're going through. We'll see. The goal is going to be to obviously PB. My PB last time was like a 1 hour, 13 minutes, 25 seconds, which was really bad. So we're going to fix that. Outside of that, we're going to prep our game save now. To do that, you just do this. Save and quit. We're going to reset our timer. And the reason we're doing that is so that the game itself doesn't have that intro cutscene. So now at this point, we're going to go ahead and get started. And that's going to be in 3, 2, 1.
He stole my hot dog!
Oh my goodness! Oh my! Looks like he's having some kind of brain.
So the game here is actually starting us in the middle of a town that's starting up its opening day. We resurrect right in the middle of this couple's picnic here, and he accuses us of stealing his hot dog. Granted, we've been dead for 20 years and we're hungry, so maybe we did. And he yelled at us, so we scratched him a little. The scratching happened to kill him, so she's going to go ahead and tell the police. In the meantime, Guidebot's going to introduce us to the city. We're not going to really listen to Guidebot for too long here. Just the only mandatory minimum, right? And then we're going to make a beeline over to this side. Now, our triggers are actually all behind us, but this one is tucked over in the corner, so it's a little bit of a pain, but you route back here. And then once we get it, it's going to start commentary.
I'm Alex Seropian, Project Director on Stubbs.
I am Matt Sell, writer for Stubbs.
Now the commentary can get a little overwhelming because of how much there is going on.
We were all trying to come up with a game
So
ideas,
I'll try my best to orchestrate what's happening. Some of these areas are going to get a little dizzying. Some of these don't really get a whole lot of sense orchestrated to it either. Right here we're getting introduced to the police officers of the game, and they're going to go ahead and want us to try assassinating. We're not going to do that. We're just going to slice them up.
People running around, chaos in the streets, cats and dogs lying together, the dead crawling out of their graves. Hey! And so yeah, it seemed pretty obvious that it was about time for a game where you could play a dead guy and have him eat a bunch of brains. And so that's, in short, where the idea came from.
So that's a mandatory cutscene. Once we get out of it, we go ahead and just beat these guys up. And then, yeah, jump. And this is another mandatory wait area.
Freeze! Don't move! You're surrounded!
What is it? Oh, I see. You've got gas. I'll just head over here for a minute while you, relieve the pressure.
So we go ahead and fart on these guys.
Hands where I can see them.
Scratch them a little and run over.
About changing your diet? You really should. Oh, we'll never get anywhere unless you push those fellas out.
So Guidebot's just introducing us to how to be Stubbs. So at this point we're just learning how to shove zombies out of the way. Because really zombies can be a pain. Definitely can be a hassle. But occasionally you need them. So you gotta learn how to call them back too. And that's what this step is.
Well done. They're heading right over.
So Guidebot's gonna go ahead and punch us.
Now, we still have a lot to see, and I don't want you collapsing of exhaustion before the tour ends. So if you feel tired or winded or in agonizing pain because someone just ran up and slugged you for no reason, then feel free to
And then
take a
after
few seconds to relax
after you
and
regain
recuperate.
control, you run
You'll
over
feel
here.
much better after a few deep breaths. All right?
Excellent. I'll be over by the gate.
So we're sitting around with probably a few dozen
That's a nice boost.
like game ideas. And yeah, so we started talking about what if you were the zombie?
Yeah, we actually had a
So
vote.
then once
I
we
remember
get into
had a
this
big meeting
area,
and there was a vote.
you wanna go
and
over
this
here.
was the only idea
Jump,
that everybody seemed to vote for.
Well, it was
and
like,
then
you
we'll
know,
see the first
top
Hippo Head.
five. Everybody had their top five.
Right,
it
right.
straight
Well,
away for it.
we picked 3, and this was the one that I think,
It was in common.
yeah, it was one thing that seemed to keep popping up.
There's a few big design challenges.
Now we're
that
gonna
we
get 2
started
unskippable
trying to tackle at the
cutscenes.
beginning.
This one
was creating the world, this sort of retro futuristic, you know, engineered city of the 50s. And our strategy there was to put in lots of robots and hovering cars and shiny stuff, things that looked like it came out of a World's Fair.
And
So
we
this
also
is the only
tried, I
part
mean,
that
I
can
remember
really
looking at
noticeably invalidate your
trying
run.
to research stores and stuff.
Because
in
right
the
now
first
we've
place, trying to get a
gotten 1 in
decent
this
feel
area, so that's 3 overall.
what cities were actually like then and what
We're coming up on
someone
number 4.
in that era would want when they built a city of the future.
And
Yeah,
before
there's
you
this
go
great
all
artist,
the way down
His
here,
name was Raidbaugh.
in one of
Drew
these
all
cubbies.
He was doing like this crazy art back in the 50s and 60s, and it was one of the cool
So that's
ideas,
number 4.
what we had at the beginning, which stuck, was the idea that it takes place over the course of just one day.
Yes.
Actually, wait, I want to try
Starts
this
in the
route.
morning, ends at night.
And it's kind of cool how it's all cyclic, where you start right here in front of in the main drag downtown Punch Bowl, and it ends right here.
That's true. Yeah, it was almost planned that way.
Yeah, there's lots of bookends like that. I wonder how many people will actually discover them.
I wonder if there's a prize for people to discover. Nah,
Yeah.
probably not.
Well, people
So this is an
feel
alternate
good
route
about
because
themselves.
normally we'd have to go through a bunch of stuff on the side just to get over here. I saw this when we pathed over here last run, so I wanted to try it. It seems pretty nice. Because then we go right here.
Yeah, Stubbs changed a lot. The character of Stubbs
And then we got to go make a beeline for this far one and then come back up.
we went through, I don't know how many different attacks on that idea before we found something that we could live with.
Yeah, man, it was amazing how many concepts we went through just on the
I think
look
it's
of
over this way.
Stubbs.
That was a long, drawn out, painful at times
Yeah, because it's by
process.
those
Yeah.
barricades.
Because I think we all sort of had some
Yep,
idea
there
of
it
what
is.
we wanted, and it was just very difficult to get that look.
So once we
Which is
get
weird
this
because
one,
it's a,
we turn around and then we'll
to
hit
look
the
at Stubbs,
last
you would
one.
not necessarily think that every
This is
detail was
number
painstakingly
6
rendered,
of 7.
but yet. For all you trivia buffs out there, my direction to Amy Warren, the actress who played Guidebot, was Carol Channing on meth. I think she did an excellent job.
Nailed that one.
Then this one should spawn in front of us in a moment, once we're visually closer. That's 7 of
But yeah,
7.
that was another idea we had sort of early on, which was civilian.
Alright, so Bleeding Ground. This is 1 of 6.
All right, we're here at the greenhouse.
Fabulous.
I'm Patrick Curry, the lead designer on Stubbs,
I am Matt Sell, the writer for Stubbs.
and this is a level that Matt and I kind of did together. Matt did the initial write-up for the level and had a bunch of cool ideas about what the various environments would be in it.
Now we used to go, or for the normal any percent, you cut right through that door.
You're seeing in front of you
But
now.
for the tutorial, you come up over here, hang out right at the
I wanted to
mushrooms.
do a level where it was sort of like the second level of another famous game I probably shouldn't mention by name, where you were running around in big verdant hills and stuff. And I thought it might be cool if we did that all indoors. Greenhouse seemed like the obvious
And now you go into the control
thing
room.
to do, especially in Punch Bowl,
Now,
where everything's
in the
all
old
features
route,
and
you would
can,
hang a
you know,
left,
grow all
but
the
what we're
food
going to
from
do
Punch
is go
Bowl.
right up here.
And that was the start of it.
You have the initial write-up for the greenhouse had a...
Aw.
One of the things that was
Fail.
also important from a story and just kind of player motivation standpoint in this level was initializing the chase between Stubbs and Maggie. And you know, hopefully that once the player sees Maggie, he falls so deeply in love with her, just like Stubbs does, that he's
Gotta hit that
propelled to
button after
complete
you
the
get
entire
there,
game
Hippo Head.
and then tell his
Then
friends
you can
to do
run
so.
on out. And hopefully you get a save here. I didn't. No save for me. But then you hang a right. And you're gonna come up on a hangar with another Sodomobile here in a moment. Nice. I got a game save there.
There's one of those undead beasts.
So you open up the garage, pop in here. Oh shit, what number is that? 3?
One thing about the greenhouse
That's
that's worth
3
pointing
of
out is
6.
it's kind of the first level with a challenge. The plaza is really all about introducing the player to Stubbs and to him and to how kind of the world works and brain eating. And this is the first level where you're almost guaranteed to die a time or two. At the beginning of this level, we do introduce Maggie Monday.
That's right.
The lovely.
The femme fatale, one might say,
Exactly.
of this game.
And Scagnus, who is the head of Monday's internal security.
That's true. Skegness and Monday, actually, there's a
And then
deep,
you go up
convoluted
here.
backstory with how those two came together, and perhaps you'll all read it someday in the epic novel.
And then over here, we go to the Fix-It bot. 4.
Also, just because some people might not, it may not be the most obvious thing in the game, you might be wondering why Skegness and his men are dressed up like a barbershop quartet. The reason is that Skegness and so on, they are, Skegness is the head of Monday's internal security team, and Monday doesn't really want to walk around with a goon squad all the time looking like the Secret Service. He feels that gives the wrong image. So he has them in incognito, in disguise.
On this part, we just
And
kind of
as
run
you can
like the
tell by
normal
looking
any
at
percent
these
route.
6'6", 250 pounds
The
of
next
solid
one should
muscle
come up
guys,
at the
that
Secret
works out
Service
really
guys.
well.
Because most barbershop quartets are pretty buff.
That's true, true. And they can, in fact, carry a mean tune. Unlike many steroid abusers, they can sing like angels.
Indeed.
I'm bringing you in.
Get out of my way. So this is the second set of hallways. It's the third set of hallways that has 5 of 6.
Zombie, over there.
So this set here,
Rick, you there. Oh.
5 of 6.
In the second half of this level, we also introduced
Now we run through here, and there's going to be a Fix-It bot in the final area. That's going to be 6 of 6.
Holy crap. Whoa.
Oops. Sorry about that.
Is there a doctor in the house? I'm bringing you in. Zombies aren't playing. Sit down. Stop hitting me.
Damn it, get out of the way. And that's 6 of 6.
That's the other major character that we introduce at the very end of this level is Otis Monday. Otis actually has sort of an epic conspiracy theory which we could...
Whoa! Time to hamstring. Sleeping leopards. Zombie.
One of 2.
So I'm Alan Turner, and I'm a designer here at White Load. We're here to talk about the level.
And then the second one is after we possess the guy. So the next bit of this area is just like the normal 80% speed run. So we run down this corner. When we're running down here, you're going to see this red room. With the red room, you go straight forward.
That got enhanced throughout the rest of the game came out of this.
You hang a left.
Level. Everything that you are expected to know how to do.
You go forward.
You pretty much are learning it by
through
this
the
level.
changing room.
Yep. This is Patrick Curry. I'm the lead designer, and like Alan said, everything except for the head in terms of abilities you have.
And now here,
and
we find out if I can count
like
to
Alan
15.
said, this is the first one that we ever did. So we were kind of learning as we went with the police station, figuring out, hey, how's Stubbs going to work? How are the enemies going to work? How are the zombies going to work? How's this crazy hand thing going to work? And so we tried to make a level that was conducive to teaching that to the player, and you know, still being fun.
Right.
4.
And what's also interesting about that is that
5,
the
6.
first thing that was really working in this level in terms
7,
of
8.
gameplay was the hand in the detention area. It started out as a paper project where we're
9.
moving upwards from the first floor to the detention area, and then to
10.
The dance battle, and wound
11.
up working at it from the middle outwards. To
12.
the detention level got,
Jesus.
and that whole hand bit got done. And originally it was only one path.
13.
You went and got one of the lieutenants.
I can't count to 15
and
apparently.
walked, you know, this long, arduous, very boring path. And over time, that whole process got more and more convoluted and became one of my more favorite.
Normally you
portions
wouldn't
of the
fart
game.
there, but I was so
There's
close to
many
dying.
different ways to do that all.
I had to be safe.
You know, you can go through it.
So right here, this is the one and only ability Stubbs learns on his own, and that's his zombie hand. It's a sentient hand that allows him to possess enemies. So we climb through the ventilation system because Stubbs is trapped as a prisoner right now, and he ripped his hand off in frustration and found out, hey, I got a power. So once we go all the way down here though, we're possessing this prisoner here that's conveniently located down the hall from us.
My hair. My hair.
And now that we've got him, you can see that hippo head kinda from here, but we gotta go to that button in front of us. Boop, 2 of 2. Now that's everything
What I
for the
also like
slammer.
about Police Station that came out pretty well is that each stage of it builds slowly and then caps off with a very, you know, impacting drawing.
I'll beat you down. And another. The city is doomed.
So now we go over here. These guys are gonna break up their defense pretty poorly. Take this guy's arm. He doesn't need it. He didn't defend, so he doesn't earn an arm. And then we just run with it. Run through here.
Zombies! Let me at him. I'll destroy you!
These guys are aggressively staggered, but none of them are moving. Ow. Dunk.
Time for batting practice.
Yikes! Look out!
I'll show
So you take out a couple guys there, you know, get yourself some zombies. As a good zombie leader, you need some zombies.
Zombie, right there.
Nice. Not super fast, but fast enough.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make her the cutest.
Oh shit, what the fuck? My game tabbed. Oh no. And then the cat jumped on my desk. The cat didn't have any impact on the issue, but I just figured I'd mention that.
Time for batting practice.
Zombie right there! Hey! Police required. Sit down!
So right up here, the painting the town red has 4 different hippo heads. The first one comes up on the 4th story of this building.
I'll show you what for! I'll kill you again!
So we go up here, and normally you would trigger Guidebot immediately, but for the sake of this run, you just hug the wall, run over this way. Boop, pick up your hippo.
Hi, this is Alan Turner, game designer here at White Load, and we're talking about the mall.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I'm a artist working for Wide Load. We're talking about the mall.
So, yeah,
So
this
that
is
was number 1 of
850
4.
Mall,
Let's run
and
over here. We're gonna get a little tutorial
this
prompt.
is another one of the early.
Just skip through that. And Guidebot
levels
introduced
that
us to our last ability, our 4th and
really
final one,
started
which is the
working
zombie
on.
head roll.
There's
It's the
police station was the first one we
an
got
ability that
functional.
gives us a
The
lot of
mall,
speed throughout other
was
parts of the
probably one
run,
the
but
first
we'll
ones
see that here
we started
shortly.
building just to get the idea of what physical spaces should feel like when you're outside with Stubbs, and what worked, what didn't work, what the engine could handle, what we couldn't handle, how much of a cityscape we could pull off.
Alright,
with
so
the
this is
limits
number
of the
2
Halo
coming
1,
up here.
Engine.
Yeah.
I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite level to play through right now. Good job, Alan.
Well, good job, Aaron, since you're the one who made it look so
Oh,
well.
I didn't really do that much. Just those gold.
All right, so this is actually one of my favorite levels too. What I like about it is, like the police station, you've got more than one way to get to where I want you to go. You know, I believe when I watch people play it, most people tend to hang off and run to the left, but you can also run down the right, and you get a
Alright, so
slightly
that's
different
2 of
experience
4.
when you go down the right.
Once we go over
There's-
here, we
and when you
run
play
up
co-op,
this ramp,
doing both of
just
those
like
things,
normal.
with-
But instead
with
of
players
turning
throwing
left, we're
hands,
actually going to
adjusting
turn
people,
right.
going all over the place, having guys in the overpass, having guys underneath.
And then we're
The
going to
whole
see a
thing
cop
just-
car, hopefully not
It's
get
crazy
hit.
cool.
Yeah, I really like right here how you can get a whole horde of zombies, and when you go into the garage, and
I
like
wish
you
there
look
was a way
back
to
at
mute the
them,
commentary or lower it or
see
something,
them
so that
all
way I could make a
start
proper
the guy
tutorial.
has an axe.
Oh
Why
well.
does he have an axe?
So you run through here,
So
run all
what was also
the way
neat
to the
about
garage.
this is that in the early incarnations
Bubble.
of it, you
This
could
is 3 of 4.
see there. The other things that was neat about this was that it was an opportunity to play around with various ideas on choke points. One of the first ones you encounter is when you're going through the overpass, and you get the ability to use your head. There's a mob of riot cops,
And then
at the elevator,
the way
there's
we
this
have to
mob
get
of
to the
lieutenant
4th
cops and
one
beat cops and
is
taser
taking
cops.
the old
And
route that we used to use
up until that point,
by going through
there's this
filberts.
kind of there's this slow
For
build.
the any percent route,
and
you go
it
straight down to
doesn't
cutlets
ever
and
really
such.
too
But for
intensive.
this run,
But
we
when
go
you
on the
hit
filbert.
that point, it brings you to a screeching halt. So if you are trying to charge through the level,
You go left
hit
in
there
here so
and
that you
suddenly
can
have to
start going
fight.
up to the second floor
And it's
because
a
we got
pretty
to
tough
get
fight.
all the
you
way to
play
the
this on
elevator,
insane,
and the
it's-
elevator's just at the end
It's
of the
pretty insane.
I usually let
more or
my
less a
zombies
linear
do all the
route.
work for me there. Just hang back.
Yeah.
As long as you go
This
forward,
is
you
great
can't
to see
miss
it
it.
in when you play it in easy, and a little bit on normal, but more so in easy, where you can really build up a nice sizable zombie horde.
Keep moving,
It's kind of neat when you
weaving in
get
and out,
up
and we'll
one
get
of the ends
all
of
the way
the
over
garage
here.
and you look back and you see this horde
There's
of
our
zombies just coming
elevator.
through, mauling through people. That's just
You can tell a
that's
Stubbs
satisfying.
elevator
Like
from
you said,
far
with the
away
target
because it's a little cubby,
power.
basically. Nope. Now, 404 is right here.
The other part of this level is the promenade. There's like it's two sections, right? There's a garage area and then there's a promenade. And the promenade was just basically the idea is it's this long outdoor mall of stores and shops and movie theaters and the entertainment section of Punch Bowl. And what I always thought was cool about the promenade is it has a slow upward progress to it. So you eventually get to this point where there's this ramp fight, and the ramp fight in there, we actually initiates from one of our old demo levels when we were first trying to shop the game around. We had a lot of it was based on this whole taking of a bridge, and it took the idea of that we had in that demo level.
I didn't see that guy.
Join us.
That's
Take up
404.
arms and fight with the Quaker state
Now the Punch
irregulars.
Bowl Mall.
We licked Hitler, and we can lick the hordes of undead Reds. Now, who's with me?
We got 4 in the mall.
And the farmer says, I wasn't talking to you. I don't get it. That's because you're dumb, Jeff. What was that?
Now let's go. Now to some of this it's going to be the standard route, but some of it won't be. Actually really only this beginning. Come on. No. No. It's like oops, all arms. Okay. Good enough, I suppose. So what we do at this point, I'd prefer to have 3 gut grenades, but 2 is sufficient. You're gonna see the spawn coming in a moment here, but we're gonna try and get over to this as quickly as possible. Now there's 2 outside of the mall and 2 inside of the mall. The 2 that are outside are at the very pole opposites of the mall, which is really sad. So there's this one right here, 1 of 4 total, 1 of 2 outside.
This is Alan Turner again, and where you're looking at Ace, the mall fight. I guess the official name is A60 Mall Fight, but this used to be a portion of
So
the
that's
mall.
wave 1 of the reinforcements.
The mall got so huge.
There's gonna be another
chop
wave.
this off and develop it by itself into a brand new level.
I'm Chris Cobb. I'm one of the artists here at Wide Load. I came in on the end of this level and polished it up, tried to get it looking good for the kids at home.
For the kids at home.
When Chris says he polished it up, though, he's not lying.
So we're going just right over here,
for a very
straight
long
over to the
time.
other
It was-
side,
like I
because
say,
that's
it
where
was
the other
chopped
one
off
is.
from the mall, and didn't quite know what was going to happen with it since a whole lot of the things that were introduced to the mall got chopped with it. So we had to find ways to make it look interesting.
Nice little save
to
trigger
keep
there.
the frame rate
Sweet.
down, which Chris did a wonderful job of making that happen. Because before it was at a point where you would come into this huge open space and it would just
2
brawl.
of 2 outside, 2 of 4
the interior
total.
went through a bunch of different versions as well. There was initially
Hopefully
a
round
long
2 of
dungeon
the
wall, like,
reinforcements comes in soon. Previously they had been out already, so I was able to just run
and
in.
we just
Not this
decided that
time.
the atrium area was so much more impressive and so much more entertaining to fight through than any of the other stuff there. So I think we just make this whole level into a
They'll
level
probably
of
spawn right after
so
that.
You've got this big outside area where you can see as far as you can see, and then when you get inside, you've got this scope that you look
No?
up, you see the sky, and you see everything else around you. And it was
Oh
a
man.
real hassle with the portables trying to make all that work, but I think it came out pretty well.
I'll stand outside in the hot sun.
I was
and all
one
the best
off.
bargains are inside. Come on in and shop. Welcome to the Punch Bowl Mall. The fashions of the future, the price. Teachers, my pretty scar.
Nice. So you eat her brains and then you just run forward here, and now we're gonna go for number 3 of 4.
There's the boss fight, which came out pretty, it came out pretty interesting. It came out pretty well. It was initially a fight that involved a lot more zombies, a lot more animations than we necessarily had the time for. So we had to cut a few corners, but I think the corners we cut wound up making this really tasty. Once we added the music.
That's number
clips in the
3 of
background,
4.
When I first was trying to
And
figure
then we
out
just
what
run
the
up here.
looked like, I wound up walking around in a bunch of levels, I'm sorry, a bunch of malls here in Chicago. And I think the one that inspired this the most was probably the Water Tower Plaza.
So that's all 4 in here. Nice. Now the Fall of House Otis has 10 in here. That's a shit ton. One.
I'm Doug Zartman. I'm the level designer for the level known to me only as B10 Farmhouse.
2.
I guess the other thing you notice right off the bat is these scarecrows. I don't know how many people notice their first playthrough that the scarecrow looks, or is supposed to
3.
look, a lot like Stubbs.
And then we run up here. Nice. We
Coming
got
up
a
to the,
save for that. That's awesome.
The sheep pen. Yeah. What can we tell people about the sheep?
Well, the militia are enamored of sheep.
Well, who isn't?
They're so gosh darn cute. The militia don't care about much, but they care about the
And
sheep.
so we go over to this one right in front of
just as
us
a side
here.
note, have actually been an important
And then we'll go to the sheep
role-
pen that
they've
they're
actually had an
talking about
important
here in
role
just a
the
moment.
Stubbs storyline for several iterations.
Even before the...
Even before the farm, there was a
Nice.
there was a plan for Stubbs.
4.
This is also this level features the first and perhaps only appearance of the Impala, not to be confused with a similarly named automobile, which
5.
probably has some sort of trademark on it. For those of you who've been wondering why Otis Monday lives on a farm called Knob Cheese Farm, there's actually a convoluted
And now we
bit of
go over
backstory
here
I
and
won't
take
get
the
into
tractor.
very deeply here.
You mean a rich and well-developed...
Just like the no jump
Yes, a
run.
rich and well-developed backstory about Otis Monday and his prior existence and how he came into possession of the farm.
Wait, we have 5 right
after
now,
his
right?
lengthy and bitter rivalry with the Knob family.
Oh, gosh.
A feud,
Counting
one might even call
my
it.
struggle.
They had their own militia, didn't they?
It's
The Knob militia.
it's a long story.
And then you drive right over here.
Coming soon in novel form. Yeah, not really.
Six.
So at one point in the game, you, hopefully, you enter the barn.
Yeah, if you don't enter the barn, the rest of the game's going to be really dull. It's just going to be you standing in that farm yard crying.
Originally, this was simply going to be an assault on a farmhouse. You know, basically zombies are just on the verge of the house, and it's a long, drawn-out Night of the Living Dead style
Alright.
assault on the house, and then fighting through the house.
Right, we just got 6, right? Fuck. Yeah, I think that was 6. Then 7's up here in the barn. Yeah, yeah. We got 6. We're working on 7.
I'm not sure how it eventually turned into an entire farm. There was a lot. I originally set it up where there was a farmhouse with layers of defenses around it, and I was trying to set up a pretty open-ended thing where you could assault the machine gun nests first, or you could sneak through trenches, etc. That later proved I was discouraged from actually pursuing that particular design, simply because
Number
players
7
need some direction. They need.
is just straight across when you enter, and then you go back down.
During a cutscene in this barn to a famous movie. If you're very young or just culturally illiterate,
And then what you do is run over to this silo for number 8.
certain members of the wide load staff didn't recognize the movie we were referring to. Not going to name names. Oh, Christopher. But yes, this was actually, I think Doug's original idea was
9.
to have this sort of, one of the amazing things about this farm is the
8.
incredible,
Sorry, that's not 9. That was 8.
incredible stability of the hay bales as compared to the doors.
Yes.
They sure knew how to pack a mean hay bale at this farm.
Now we're
funny
going to
thing
go
about
through
that,
here like normal route, and then we're going to run
When we
down in
first
a
got the hay
second
bale,
before we break the next
scenery
door.
object from the artist who did the first pass on the model. It was strapped wrong. The straps went around the middle like an equator instead of having 2 straps around the long end, as it is. And to me, this looked totally wrong. I worked in a stable for part of one summer as a kid, and I knew what a hay bale looks like, and it looked just ridiculous and wrong to me. And I had to fight
Number
to
9.
get that changed.
Well, actually, one thing I want to say is that this is probably the one level where you get to hear Otis the most, which is
And then number 10 is right over
a
here.
good thing, I suppose. Otis does get to deliver a little more of his worldview, which is
10.
unique.
I guess it is a worldview.
Oh my gosh.
One of the best parts of developing a game is when the game starts surprising you, when things that you've...
Welcome to
So
the
there's
Pittsburgh
5
game,
here. The first
where
one we
all
actually have to
motto
cut
is,
left
"Damn
initially
it."
for when the zombie breaks. Ba-boom. Number 1.
I'm Alex Ropian, project director, Stubbs.
I'm Christopher MacArthur, a programmer.
Yeah, Christopher and I basically did this damn level together. I kinda
Having the
did
numbers
first
on the
pass, and
split
then,
makes this so much easier,
Christopher
honestly.
picked up all my mess and made it good.
You get your
Originally,
frame
in
of
the
reference
beginning
because
here,
you know
there was
exactly where
that
you
tour bot
need to
coming
know. And you can
tour
kind of
of this
make
area
heads or
of the
tails
dam.
as you go.
The robots.
Nonetheless, we have number 1 now.
We took
Number
out some
2,
of her dialogue because it was
right
just,
over
you know,
here.
get in the
Robots
way
can
of...
be kind of chatty.
Yeah, a little too chatty. So I kind of designed these areas also with... There's a lot of robots in the beginning, and they kind of ignore you and just go about their business and work on things, but I try to make them patrol right through the firefights so that a scientist will accidentally hit a robot with a shot or two, then he'll freak out and go lost in space on you.
Oh my
They
gosh.
won't get into the mix with you unless they actually take the damage. So
3.
I think this is the first time you ever encounter these
Oh,
shotgun
man.
scientists.
The boomstick guys.
Boomsticks. And originally I wanted to do something cool with them in here where you would burn their faces off with like hot steam, but we got concerned with the amount of particles in this room, and so we kind of just made it a cool fight. But
All right, so we have 3 of 5 right now.
Less particle intensive. So
Push me
first time you
forward.
fight these both kinds of scientists actually.
You missed.
Yeah. So instead of doing the burning off their faces with steam, we did sort of a little optional choke them with gas in this room. which is you have all these vents on the ceiling, and
Stay alert. We're here today to talk about security and stupidity.
That's 4 of 5.
this is kind of a cool area now because it's one of the ones in the game where you get to choose how you want to beat it. You could come here from the very beginning and watch that guy go in there and just possess someone and just, you know, they won't.
And now to get 5 of 5. The long-awaited pee break. All right, 5 of 5. Let's go.
The first level where you use your whiz as a real mechanic. Yeah. So originally,
Let's hope for good RNG on the
combination
spawns.
of 2 levels that we designed early on. One was Taint the Reservoir, where the whole idea of it was to fight your way to the reservoir and then just take a big old pee in it. And then the other level was breaking this huge dam. That's another. We've had these ideas where we want the zombies to break stuff in the environment. So we had this crazy idea that you would.
Oh, we're gonna kill both of these guys.
Bust a whole dam. So we kind of combined those two in this one level, and the P battle is really the idea behind that is basically it's just a solo game of King of the Hill.
All right, we should be good for the rest of this then.
You have to be in the hill. And everybody's coming at you. And the P was just kind of a cool mechanic to force you to stay on the hill to actually solve it.
Contamination level at 50%.
And it's just fun. I mean, a zombie taking a whiz.
I liked peeing on the cops. That's my highlight is peeing on the cops and make them fall into the water.
Actually, I remember the first. Actually, this was in here for a while. In order to make the P work.
Okay, so it's at 75%. It's kind of hard to hear because of the commentary, but 75%.
I
think that's
not
still
bad
on there.
So really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it probably won't be by the time we play this. But if you spin the camera around, you know, the gut grenade was hanging out of Stubbs' pants.
And now we're done with this level's hippos. So, pretty nice. I wish there was a verification chart at the end of the game that just said you got all the hippos or something, but considering they don't have it documented internally at Wide Load from back when they were a studio, which they're not anymore, there's just a 0% chance we'll find out at this point. Oh my gosh. They're bullying me. Destroy the zombie scourge. So here we used to have all kinds of clever hand acrobatics for the any percent route, but thanks to the routing we do now, you can just run to the very end, because the game developers figured, well, there's no way you could have gotten all the way over there without doing all that other stuff, right? Right? Pew, pew.
Stop panicking. This is nothing. The only way this could turn out bad is if they start walking between the breaker terminals and completing the circuit, and that's just insane. Oh no.
Whoa. Hop in. Vamonos. Alright, that should get all the 4 zappers going. And then we'll get reinforcements directly ahead. Hey, fly back here. Pick on someone your own size. Oh my gosh. Nice. They all did. So we should be good. Oh no, the cat's sitting on the mouse. Alright, so there's only 2 in this split, the sacking of Punch Bowl. Right over here is the first one.
I'm Alex Soropian, project director, Stubbs.
And I'm Patrick Curry, the lead designer in Stubbs. And we're here to talk about the level that we internally call Offender. And I forget what it's actually called in the game.
Normally those guys don't stand in front of that door.
Stubbs comes back to Punch Bowl after
Bless you, kitty cat.
destroying the dam, and he finds that it's populated with the army.
So this is the first level with you fight the army guys.
Yeah, it's the first level with the army guys, and the army guys are cool because they have all these
then
awesome
we navigate over
weapons
here,
like their combat
and this
rifle.
is 2
and
of
then
2
a
for the
sniper
Hippo
rifle
Heads.
and a bazooka. So
Offender's
the
got
army
some
is a
stuff that's
whole
only
lot
on
of fun to
Offender
possess
too.
and use their weapons.
Well,
so
I guess landmines
specifically
are
designed this level to
show
be
up a little
pretty
later,
rough.
but you experience
to
landmines
require
for
you
the
to
first time
possess
here,
lots of
which
guys
is kind of
to
funny
actually
because
Now this is one of the only
we like to
levels
think we're
that
doing
stacks
totally
the
use your
commentary.
zombies to.
I apologize for
people
anybody
like
just tuning
landmines,
in.
you get
It's
from
very
kinda crazy
nauseating
shit.
at this
We're gonna
point.
blow up into the air and fall back down.
The
on
director's
landmines,
commentary is
shooter.
stacked and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, the landmines was actually one of the very first things I ever thought of. A little bit of would be fun to do with the zombies.
Yeah, the army guys,
you have your
like
zombies
the first
and
serious.
you want to be able to use them for things like the meat shields.
I mean,
are
just,
obvious.
I'm being
all the
dumb.
enemies are
Use that in a lot of
enemies,
levels.
and just to be clear, there's nothing funny about the way they
There's
ran
not,
the difficulty.
really.
Like the cops are really
except
like
to see guys bounce.
they're sort of like, you know,
that's right.
They're all the cops that
And,
like left their tough beats and came
so
to Punch
the-
Bowl because they thought it
the
was going to
landmines
be
are
a
one of the things I
cakewalk.
really
And they're
wanted
just
you
going
to
to
be
like
able to
sit
use your
around
zombies
eating
for, is to
donuts, and
clear
then
out
once
the
the zombies
minefields,
show up,
you
they're
know,
like,
put
oh,
the
holy
zombie in
crap!
there.
And then the militia are just
but
like,
then
you
also
know,
another thing
they're just
that
nuts and
is,
out of control.
in Offender is
They're
you
old
can
geezers
use your
from the
zombies.
scientists.
Actually, you have to use your zombies.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Glad that's over.
What was it? Zombies! Sneaking
Oh.
up!
What we're gonna do at this point... Hold on, my cat is like destroying my desk.
Better dead than red. Ow!
She decided now's a good time to, like, eat everything on my desk. Don't understand. Destructive ass cat. Come here. Don't be so secretive about them brains. It's all good, man. It's all good. I want to get enough for the zombie head roll.
Oh God! Not like this! Fists of Fury! Hey, that's my
Oh man, that civilian died immediately. I need one more. Hell yeah.
hostile sighted. You cannibal! Time for your someone! Son of a bitch! Shoot it!
Alright, Doctor will see you now.
Catastrophic.
So right here, we're gonna bomb this. Turn around. Bomb that. One of two.
Hi, I'm Alan Turner again, and we're here to. I'm a designer here at White Load, and we're here to talk about the lab level.
So our exit's already
This is Matt
open.
Sell,
But
sitting
we
here
gotta
with
go up
Alan,
here.
talking about the lab. Those of you who aren't scientists might not recognize the giant statue that we have in our
Two of
lobby
7.
here.
Right. Yeah. So one of the challenges with the scientists in general was we didn't want them to do the same thing.
And then the
that
next one
everybody else had.
should be the third
not more
floor.
guns and pistols and batons and all that craziness. But we did want you. We wanted
Yeah.
to get two.
Yeah.
We wanted to get two things
Not
across.
this
One
floor.
was that they are the source of most of the weapons and scientific oddities that you see in the course of the game, and that they've still got things hidden away that you haven't seen yet. We wound up actually introducing them earlier than.
And
we
it's over
anticipated.
here
They're
in the
supposed to be,
left.
only in the
3.
lab, and they wound up being.
Another thing, there's actually two classes of scientists. You can hear the difference in the audio actually. The head scientists, so to speak, are the ones with the British accent, and the assistant scientists are the ones who have that sort of lab monkey.
And then I think the
weirdo
next ones are
Peter
6th,
Lorre
7th,
quality to
8th,
their
and
voice.
boss.
And the other ones also shoot the pink ray,
That's true.
and the blue rays are the lead scientists.
For all you train spotters out there.
Now we're going to level 5. No, kitty cat. Goddamn. Stop trying to eat my shit.
Take that!
4.
This was also one of the levels that inspired the idea that the robots were an environmental enemy. That they initially don't attack you directly. They're just kind of there to help you out. But as soon as they take damage, they flip out and start to attack anything and everything in sight, which makes them
This is the
kind
weird
of cool
one.
in these close quarters fights, because you get if you know there's a robot in the area, you can hurt a robot and run and know that he'll tear up the scientist, and the scientist will have to shoot him. He explodes and you take out robot
5.
scientists. The battle with Dr. Y, however, the idea was to take all the weapons that you've met with the scientists and take them up a notch. So the main crazy blaster that he shoots, that red ray, is just an
So we're at
extension
5
of
of
the
7
ray,
now,
the red
guys.
ray that the assistant scientists use, and the big knockback ray that he fires to push you away from the central obelisk thing is just an extension of the boom gun. But what makes them cool and different is the fact that they're continuous.
There's number
so
6.
They're much more like the inspiration for both those beams is sort of like the death ray from the old George Powell.
One of the things you may have noticed as you're playing through the game is that there's not a whole lot of diversity in Punch Bowl, and when you get to that boss battle with Dr. Y, that's actually sort of explained. The only thing that's missing in a perfect city is a perfect citizenry, and so Dr. Y creates it for his boss. And that's why you don't really have to feel terribly bad about eating all these brains. So if that's been gnawing at any of you, you can just put that fear aside.
Nice.
I
So we have
like
6 of 7 right now.
The thing that emphasizes the nature of
7 of 7.
Now, I also have to comment that one of the greatest satisfactions in this game, for me, is walking through the sterile areas of this laboratory.
And now we gotta try and quick
just
kill the boss.
having these terrible,
Hopefully he
bloody
cooperates.
fights that leave it just covered in gore and chaos. And in a weird way, it becomes more alive once everything's dead than it did when everything was alive. And again, that's another comment on just the nature of the things that this game is trying to explore.
Stubbs is the only real person in this city, and he decorates oddly, but with a certain style and panache all his own.
Okay. Not super fast though. So we're gonna run over here. Number 1.
All right, I'm Doug Zartman. I'm the level designer for the level known to us as C40 City Hall.
All right. I am Chris Cobb. I'm one of the level artists that worked on this level as well as a few others throughout the game.
This is a level that went through many, many iterations. When I began this, I was looking forward to creating this entire city overrun by zombies, full of tanks, full of the army, having these giant battles.
Sorry, my
and
driving
I
went really bad. I'm distracted.
Designed
There's
it
people
that way.
yelling and
This was
going
originally,
crazy outside.
about 10 times larger.
So, nonetheless,
than
we
it
have
is
1
now,
of 5.
which is pretty amazing because it's still very, very large.
Yeah,
Shit.
the sight lines are just ridiculous.
The next
so
one is
there's
right
this
after the tank.
continual process of, chopping it down and then blocking off streets and making it much more manageable.
Yes, it's quite an effort keeping designers in check.
That's right.
This kind of thing.
Alright, 1 of 5. 1 of 5. Let's go, guys. 1 of 5. Nice, we got a save there, that's good. Backing up. Uh-oh. I hope I get out on this side. Okay, good. 5.
Neat thing about this level is that this is the first.
Now, it
first one
might
where
just be
you're
faster to
spending a
run
lot
at
of
this
time,
point
in
instead of
vehicles.
doing the whole...
Not just vehicles, but tanks that can actually do a lot of damage. So the long, straight streets certainly.
I just feel like the
are conducive
protection's
to-
nice,
to
but
that.
running is probably
It's
faster.
sort of tricky because a lot of this was a lot of the
So we're on 2
vehicle
of 5.
action
On our way to number
encounters were
3.
designed before
Number three.
Chris came in and actually messed up the streets, which made the vehicles stop working half the time.
Right. Well, yeah, that was my job to come in and put some huge craters in the ground, but I think they actually, some of our...
3 of
we had
5, folks.
So,
Number 3
yeah, as
of
Doug was
5.
saying, I think this is the first level where you actually get to see the tank. Is that true?
You see it right at the end of Offender.
Okay. Well, definitely the first level where you get to drive the tank.
Oh my god, I missed
Yeah,
one. Pretty sure.
The tank was quite an undertaking. I'm pretty proud
I'm pretty
of it.
sure I just realized I missed
getting
one.
all the treads to work accurately and all that.
Yeah, I
a pretty big
did.
Deal. Hopefully you can
Oh,
actually
wait,
see it.
is it here?
You can't see a lot of the underworkings of it a whole lot when you're actually driving it, but when
we'll see.
AIs are driving it around, hopefully you'll get to see some of that. So that turned out pretty cool, I think.
So we have 3 right
Hopefully it'll
now.
be fun to drive around and do some damage.
Oh no, we're good. Because this is 4 of 5. Oof.
All right, so this is the approach to the interior of the City Hall level. Yeah, when I first got my hands on this, it was enormous. It's still pretty big, but it was a good 3 times larger than it is now. And if what I've heard is true, it used to be even bigger than that.
Yeah.
So that's quite amazing.
Nice. Never mind, we didn't miss
I think
anything.
we still maintained a pretty good size here, so it's a...
We're good,
little
guys. We're good.
backdrop for the tank battle here.
The early stages of placing AIs on this level and setting up fights. I was constantly like changing the fog, bringing in the fog closer and closer and closer to try to keep the frame rate decent, but Portals took care of that.
All right. So yeah, a lot of landscaping went on here. A lot of we got rid of some. Used to have 2 statues in here. One of them was a bit phallic.
Go.
We got rid of that one. Put in nice big Monday statue to properly enhance his ego, right in the middle.
Yeah, we couldn't have anything obscene in this game.
So we go over here.
No innuendo.
We have 4 of 5 right now, guys. Remember that. 4 of 5. Number 5 is coming right up over here. Hop in the tank. This is number 5. Holy shit.
So the good thing about it being big is that even when it is full of scenery, and things that can block your vehicle, it's still big enough you can get around and find some paths.
Right. I was worried when I put in some of the slight elevation changes here. I was a bit concerned that the tank wouldn't be able to navigate in there very well, but it seems to do okay. Getting up and down.
AIs are usually pretty good.
Right.
Following your move points.
Yeah, I think if anything, it makes it a lot more interesting terrain to navigate.
We went back and forth on.
Nice. So that's 5 of 5. Last one, guys.
Because, of course, when you're
We're in 52 out of 53. 53, we go right over here. Head for this civilian because you don't want to jump. Go to the second door. And that's it. 53 of 53.
I'm Doug Zartman. I'm the level designer for C50 End, the interior of the City Hall.
And I'm Matt Sell, still the writer.
The City Hall is the last holdout for Monday and his cronies.
This is also the level where the various secrets are revealed. Dark Monday.
So now it's just finishing the run.
You'll pay for that! Whoa! It's got me!
Nice. 104.20. Yo. Let's go, son. Let's go. Now, if that's not a Velcrafting PB, I don't know what is. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the easy 100% route at this time. We're going to still continue to progress it, obviously, but right now that is the fastest routing. I do think that in the initial beginning of the game, there is still routing opportunity to fix that. But for where it's at on the first day, we've gotten it from an hour and a half to 1 hour, 4 minutes, 20 seconds. That's pretty fire emoji if you ask me. So we'll let this continue out. I am gonna head off of that though. Alright guys, I appreciate you hanging out, having fun. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.